Welcome to Akhand Vidyashram, the first institute of impeccable wisdom, the walking, talking encyclopedia, Pragyan Chakra, and enlightening pineal gland. My mission, the impeccable wisdom, knowing which everything is fully known. My greatest discovery, Divyank, the divine design of nature with which the perfect objects are designed and created. Divyank is the reward of 60 years of integrated education. Impeccable wisdom is enlightening, and integrated knowledge is empowering. Pragyan means beyond doubt, absolute wisdom, impeccable wisdom, which you cannot find fault with. This particular chakra is the ninth according to Akhand Vidyashram, but this particular does not find any mention in any of the other chakras, particularly Satchakra Nirupana. Other books don't talk about this as such, but I do believe I want to reclassify these 7 chakras into 10 chakras and show their close association with endocrine glands, which are very distinct in making physiological functions perfect subconsciously, unconsciously. And also the major autonomic ganglia, which also plays the same role along with the endocrine glands to make physiological functions of homeostasis perfectly normal. So making the 7 chakras, which are not been shown correlation with the physical body, and most of the people say they have no relationship, whereas from my experience, I find the chakras are related within the body, and they are related to autonomic nervous system, endocrine system, nervous system, and definitely all the 100 trillion cells of the body. Major are 10 plus, and minor chakras are 108. But I would be giving us evidence as we proceed for the rest of the thing. But as far as let's first talk of the major chakras, which are 10 plus. From that angle, this is the ninth in the ascension order, and it is associated with pineal gland. It is an endocrine gland which produces melatonin during darkness, and it is associated with circadian rhythm of sleep and wakefulness. An association of this particular chakra is with planet Saturn. As I have also spoken about association of these chakras with certain Bij mantras. Muladhara with Lam, Swadhisthana with Vam, Manipura with Ram, Anhata along with Usha as Yam, Vishuddhi with Ham, Agnya with Hamsa. And then start phonetic sound called Om. So Vigyan is also Om, and Pragyan is also associated with Om, A, U, M plus Turiya. Very distinct, absolutely no confusion, and mathematically description or precision arising as we go up. We become more and more aware of most and subtle aspects of the human body as well as psychology. The number of petals in this particular chakra I have given 96. As I've been saying, it is 96 has been given based on the distance of planet Saturn from you can say center of sun divided by 15 million kilometers. From that angle is absolutely on the dot. Then part of the autonomic nervous system, central autonomic nervous system, not any of the ganglia as such, but you can call it close to insular cortex. And fibers of sympathetic nervous system which are responsible for squeezing the hormones from this particular gland is a sympathetic in nature that has been recognized by modern science, and they arise from the superior cervical ganglia. That is one part. Now, this particular center is also associated with snakes, pineal gland, and parietal photoreceptor center, and they are called Nagamani, the gem of snake, also called the third eye of enlightenment. These particular statements about some center in the brain with this have been spoken of without any specification or any correlation with the existing organs. But I do know from my own experience, this pineal gland has got photoreceptor cells which can see the light when indwelling soul gets into the ventricles with the help of 10th stage of Akhand Yoga called Antar Yoga. Ashtanga Yoga, 8 stages I've already spoken, which are common with Patanjali Yoga Sutra. Chakral Yoga is the one which I'm talking about now with the 10 chakras and their association with different parts, endocrine gland, autonomic gland, and this particular center, when Kundalini comes or Antaratma comes to the ventricles of the brain from Brahma Nadi, when it is inside the ventricles, the light of soul can be easily seen by the pineal gland, and it has got nerve fibers because they are like photoreceptors, like your cones, and then seen by parietal brain as well as occipital visual cortex. So that way is fantastic, and I have read quite a lot of people talking about it, but I am surprised that they have spoken but not specified what exactly it is. But anyway, I am glad with my experience I've been able to show the correlation of visualization of self, a soul, and called self-realization, actualization, enlightenment, with the light of soul being seen by the third eye, called the pineal gland or Pragyan Chakra, and visualized or interpreted by the parietal region as well as this. We are going to talk little more in detail as I go to the next stage. Now, coming to correlation with anatomy in nervous system. Now, in this particular picture, I have written on Pragyan Chakra, the pineal endocrine gland, the third eye of intuition, enlightenment, and I do believe once this is enlightened, you can be in tune with Akash Kosh, and your intuition is going to come better. For that matter, intellect is associated with Vigyan Chakra, the scientific chakra, and hypothalamus. But when this center comes, you can be much more intuitive, much more, you will know things directly, like the way Vedas are spoken as Shruti, directly heard, directly known. Once this center is open, you can definitely. From my reading of other books which have spoken about Lalana Chakra or Bindu Chakra, I can definitely say Bindu Chakra or Lalana Chakra and Pragyan Chakra, they are the same thing and they are related to the pineal gland or the third eye. So from that way, I think a different thing now, I'm able to reclassify into one and show the correlation with pineal gland and also anatomy, neuroanatomy of pineal gland and the fibers which are connected. You can see a beautiful thing. Now, to make things a little more interesting, the snake has been called Nagamani, the gem of snake. Many people it's mythology, but I do know it is not mythology because I've seen. In snake, you can see the parietal groove, which is epithalamus. Epithalamus is over the thalamus, with the two hemispheres are left and right hemisphere of the cerebral cortex are there. This is right in the middle and the back side, not front side. As I've shown, the pine cone, The pineal gland also derives its word from pine cone because the shape of pineal gland is like a pine cone. I have shown that picture. And from that you can see the fibers which go to the cerebral cortex or the neurocortex, particularly of parietal and occipital. And in snakes, it has been seen as a parietal groove and is very distinct, and the cells are like cones which are part of the retina, and they can see in bright light. So that way, I think scattered information, I'm able to bring it together and show it is very, very scientific. But in the center, I've shown only of the 4 chakras: Ajna Chakra, Vigyan, Pragyan, and Sahasrara. And these are the chakras, in my opinion, with enlightenment, you realize them better. No wonder other 7 chakras are the external chakras, maybe in Pranamaya Kosha. When your consciousness is still outside, you become aware of 7 chakras only. But when the whole thing gets internalized with self-realization, or Atma coming within the ventricles from Sushmana Nadi to Vani Nadi to Surya Nadi to Chandra Nadi to Brahma Nadi to the Vaikunt, only then you come to realize the beauty of this particular center, or these 4 centers specifically, which are closely associated with Antardhyan or internalization of consciousness. So from my experience, I have shown, now I am able to correlate with neuroanatomy as well as neurophysiology. That way I do feel this new chapter added would help people to have a proper theoretical knowledge, so they can also look forward to this experience by internalizing it. So far they have been only aware of 7 chakras and say they are not associated with physical body. No wonder they are only trying to look for spiritual world outside the world. But actually, Sanatana Dharma makes it very clear. The macrocosmic universe is represented as the microcosmic within the body itself. Entire universe is within the body. Once you believe that and you start looking for within the body, when you become aware of all the 100 trillion cells and how they integrated they are, how they are speaking to each other with a uniformity, equanimity, Satchitanand, bliss. And then when they work as that, then only that is called Virat Roop, or Vishal Roop of the entire universe, which even Gita talks about it. It is possible, and I have been able to do and show when you are in that consciousness, you are part and parcel of universal consciousness, and the greatest reward, as I've written in the beginning itself, is Devyank, the divine designer niche with perfect objects are designed and created, is a reward of internalization, becoming a microcosmic representation, macrocosmic universe, Brahmand within, Mahabrahmand within, and that is what, if I am able to do, I'm sure everybody in the world can do it. Maybe earlier it has not been mentioned. Now that I am talking about it and giving you the proper theoretical knowledge and the practical approach which I have approached, I am sharing my own experience and also showing the rewards. All the things which I've gone, I'm sure the world can be in tune with universal consciousness. As a result, we can expect universal peace hereafter. From that angle, I am very happy that I am doing my bit, leaving behind the legacy of my experience so that it is not lost. Today's world is very different. iCloud, Akash Kosh, computers, artificial intelligence, all is going to be there for generations to come. This particular era is a new era which I can definitely associate with Satya Yuga. Now, this perfect, impeccable wisdom for the entire world is going to change the world for a peace, for a transformation, where there is going to be harmony for each and every one. From that faith, my experience, I'm giving it to the world for the love of it, and I'm sure with the knowledge which is shared with this of impeccable wisdom, will have the new knowledge for the entire world, which we don't have to unlearn and relearn, unlike what we have available knowledge till date from school, college, university, and from books, journals to even the greatest of the universities are not talking of impeccable wisdom. They're just sharing data, information, and knowledge. There is no absolute wisdom knowing which everything else is known. Akhand Vidyashram has taken on its thing to leave behind that legacy, and these chakras are now really bringing spiritual science to the core and say this is the evidence which is required. This is the kind of neuroanatomy of the brain. This is the beauty of it and what could be done. So from that angle, I think it's been a great joy for me to experience it, use it to make these symbols, write a new language, give a new mathematical design with the kind of evidence which nobody can deny. So let's go to the association of this chakra with Udana Prana. As I've said, Apana throws it out. It is with the lower chakras, sympathetic system are down. Samana is with Usha chakra and pancreas, our digestive system. Prana with heart and lungs. And then Udana comes from Vishuddhi right up to top. Vishuddhi chakra, Ajna chakra, Vigyan chakra, Pragyan chakra to Sahasrara chakra, all are Udhana mean rising of consciousness to higher and higher, and then going beyond the body consciousness to universal consciousness. Vayana prana is our accumulative aura around the body, which works as a shield for us. As I've shown in one of my beginning, as my experience, that when I thought consciousness came right up to Vishuddhi chakra, I saw myself in a white bag of light. So once consciousness comes to Vishuddhi chakra, Udana comes. When Udana comes, it forms a big white bag of light around, because all the higher centers, particularly the one visual cortex, all these centers become enlivened. And that is enlightenment. That is what is expected. And once that happens, you can produce 8 Hz frequency throughout the brain with eyes open and eyes closed and be in tune with Akash Kosh, which is the internet of the universe, where all the events of the past, present, and future, mathematical divine design, etc., everything is stored. Then if you can have that frequency, all the what is information there, you can download from there and then translate in the light of modern sciences, and that is what I have done, and that is what I'm doing, and that's what I'm leaving behind. I know as on date, this information is beyond the minds of common person, but I know they were not aware of it. Possibility was never thought about it. Now that I'm sharing it, I'm sure people who believe, they would be over a period able to experience it, because nothing is built in a day, and particularly spiritual science is full of knowledge, data, information, knowledge to the wisdom. Unless until you all that 100 billion cells into 20,000 memory synapses are fully awakened, and you become a walking, talking encyclopedia, only then you would experience the real beauty of macrocosmic universe within your body as a microcosmic universe. From that angle, now I find my own experiences when I explain becoming much more clearer than what I had 30 years here, 50 years ago. And maybe that's how the unfolding comes as we proceed to higher and higher centers. From that angle, very good. Now, sympathetic system, as I've already spoken, you can see the Pragyan Chakra there is associated with pineal gland. You can see the pineal gland also there. And then only stimulation of spurious cervical ganglion help in squeezing this melatonin. But I was also under the impression, and I'm still under the impression, whether science accepts it or not, pineal gland also releases endorphins and caffeines, which are responsible for giving Satchit Anand, or blissful state of the mind. It is not only melatonin, it is also endorphins and enkephalins. Now, cranial parasympathetic, as I told you, Pragyan Chakra is associated with hypothalamus, and higher than that is where you have ascending fibers of autonomic nervous system or central autonomic nervous system, and that is associated with pineal gland as well as insular cortex. Both are very close to each other. It is not by coincidence. I think it's a divine design. So, having spoken about that, I think I will leave it at that. Now, in this particular picture, as I've been saying at the end, everything which I have experienced is represented. In this, you can definitely see all the chakras one by one. And if you can see, this Pragyan Chakra is associated with Trikuta mountains on one side, maybe. Also, the wings of flight of the mind. That means Pragyan Chakra makes you intelligent, but it is a Pragyan Chakra which gives you the flight to be in tune with the universal consciousness. Then really you start flying to the higher consciousness from Pragyan Chakra. No wonder this Pragyan Chakra has come to be associated with that part of the medical symbol, staff of Hermes, which is shown or seen as the wings of flight. But I would call it with Trikuta mountain plus this. This is where intuition comes, and then with that intuition, we can unfold much higher things much better thereafter. From that angle, it's been wonderful experiencing and seeing more and more experience being enlivened within me as I'm talking about it in X tempo out of my own experience. My memory is not read from a script. I do not believe I cannot do it because I have to be very honest, because I am not, Shibhushan Sharma is not talking, it's my Atma. The voice of silence is speaking through me to the world for the impeccable wisdom, for the entire world to be a peaceful, blissful state, for the integrity and honesty with which the next generation can really live like a greatest living beings once again the way it was during Satyug or the era of truth. So thank you very much. It has been lovely talking to you.